Autism spectrum disorder refers to a range of neurodevelopmental disorders involving repetitive behavior and difficulties communicating. Sarah and Andrew Reilly of Springfield have 5 children, and 3 of them are on the spectrum. The Reillys want to help other families by opening an indoor gym geared toward the needs of children with autism. They'll call it My Brother Rocks the Spectrum. They're still in the planning phase, but they hope to open their gym in the near future. And Connecting Point correspondent Carolee McGrath spoke with Sarah Reilly to learn more.
My Brother Rocks the Spectrum Foundation is a nonprofit. It's actually now countrywide that we raise money to give families and children with autism access to summer camps, social skills groups, one-on-one care in the We Rock the Spectrum kids gyms. We're currently building one in Springfield. There's roughly 50 locations nationwide and one in Malaysia coming up. So it's just to get access to the care that kids with autism need. They have a lot of very specific needs, and families like ours aren't able to just go out and play at parks and play at like the different play areas at the Holyoke Mall or go roller skating without extra support. So this is what we are raising money for.
So tell us a little bit about your family. I know you're a proud mother of 5 children, which is a great accomplishment in itself, but tell us about your family.
Oh, okay, great. My kids are awesome. They are going to be 14, they're 14, 13, 9, 3, and 2 right now. My oldest and my youngest 2 are on the spectrum themselves. My oldest is very high functioning, does great in school, really kind of coming out of his shell. My little guy is Timothy. He's 3 right now. He's very severe. He's nonverbal, but he tells you what he wants and how he wants it very, very well with hand gestures or bringing it to you. And you just learn how to communicate that way. And Thomas, the little guy, he is 2. He's also on the spectrum, but he's more high functioning. He just has a little bit of a verbal delay, but very inquisitive and very, very stubborn like me.
Well, that's a good quality, I think. So tell me about the type of play place that you're going to be building and what kinds of things that there will be there for families.
Well, all We Rock the Spectrum kids gyms have the same basic 10 pieces of equipment. There's a zip line, a trampoline, slides, like little tunnels, and things like that. You know, we as parents or outsiders just see it as fun for kids, but they have very specific purposes to the development of children, and especially for children with autism or other sensory disabilities who don't view and feel the world the same way we do. So this is what they are able to go on, and other kids think it's great too, so it gives them the ability to play alongside their peers safely in a way that they enjoy. And we're able to add other things into the gym as well. Different, you know, there's kitchen set and trains and ball pits and things that kids just love.
Okay, and this is going to be built in Springfield at the old Allen and Cooley, as I like to call it. Five Town Plaza is where the location you're talking about.
Yeah, we just went and looked at property this week, and we're going to start negotiating and getting our build out ready.
Okay, what are some of the day-to-day challenges that your kids face?
Well, it depends on which kid you're talking about. For Timothy, the lack of communication can be very, very frustrating. For him, if you don't know him and know what he's like and just in tune with him, he can get very frustrated. If he wants something and can't tell you, or he hurts or doesn't feel well and can't tell you what's wrong, it causes him to have massive meltdowns. Some days he'll scream a lot for a few hours a day. And that can also be very frustrating for the other children as well to be with that. But they're very, very supportive of their little brother. They absolutely love him. But any child with autism or with any kind of communication dysfunction, not being able to tell people what you need or how you feel is a very frustrating feeling.
And how about for you and your husband? Obviously, when you have a baby, you don't know what to expect. You don't know what life is going to bring. How has this been for you as parents as far as the learning curve?
There's a learning curve, I think, with parenting any child, whether on the spectrum or even neurotypical. But it can be frustrating. You go into this, there's a poem called Welcome to Holland, and it talks about, when you're having a baby and you're expecting to go to Italy and you're expecting to see the sights and everything, and then you get off the plane and you're in a whole other country and it's nothing like where you were expecting to go, but it's just different. There's so many things that other parents, I think, take for granted that we are overjoyed. Timothy is going to be 4, and he just waved bye-bye and said it for the first time on Thanksgiving. I cried That's a milestone that I think most parents don't even think twice about. So being able to have that gives you a whole different perspective on parenting.
And what about some of the, I guess, misconceptions that people might have about children or adults with disabilities? And I'm sure, maybe when you were younger, you might have had your own preconceived notions of people who have disabilities. How have your children changed you?
Well, I think, growing up, autism was not as prevalent as it is now. Kale is the oldest, and when he was born, it was 1 in 250. Now it's 1 in 48. Growing up, I think my only experience with any kind of autism was the movie Rain Man, which is very inaccurate. That's a very small amount of people on the spectrum or even anything remotely like that. Right. So going into it, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it would bring. And to have my oldest and have him high functioning and just he's a little more socially awkward to going to have a child that doesn't speak, it's still hard. I mean, people don't understand, you think, oh, well, you already have a child with autism, you've got this, you're going to be fine. And every day I'm like, I don't know what to do. Right. When he has a meltdown and I can't console him because I can't figure out what's wrong, I have no idea what I'm doing. And that's okay. I think a lot of parents feel the same way. I try to encourage other parents that are coming into this like we are, find another special mommy friend. That's what I call us. I said, just find somebody that's going through the same exact thing, because it is the most isolating journey you will be on unless you find someone just like you.
And is that one of the biggest challenges, is feeling alone as raising a child?
It was with my oldest, just because it wasn't as prevalent back then. So I didn't really know. As far as I knew, I think I was the only one that had a child with autism that I knew. And as we had Timothy, now his little cousin is 3 weeks difference in age with him. He's also diagnosed. So my cousin and I can share stories and feel connected in that way. I actually started a Facebook group called Raising Reillys, just chronicling what it's like to raise 3 children with autism, so other families can see that you don't have to feel alone. It's okay. Everybody feels like this. Some days you don't have to like being a mom. You can absolutely hate it. Doesn't mean you dislike your kids. You'll love them, but you want to get in the car and run away, and it's okay to feel that way sometimes.
So you didn't sign up for this. This is moms don't sign up for the bad days, of course. But I mean,
Right.
What could you say to encourage other mothers, and what are you hoping that this group will do for other families in this area?
Well, everybody says, oh, it takes a special kind of mom to raise children like that. And I don't think that's true at all. I think it takes having children like that to make a special kind of mom.
Oh,
and
beautiful.
I think anybody is capable of doing anything that I do. You just have to look at yourself and really look inside you and see what you can do. You can't just look at someone else and go, oh, look at everything she does. That's amazing. You're capable. So just look at yourself, love your kids, and as long as you're doing everything you think that you're doing is okay, then you're fine.
Okay, where can people find out more about this organization?
Oh, well, We Rock the Spectrum Springfield. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. And you can also go to my Brother Rocks the Spectrum Foundation.org, and there's a little drop-down box, and you can read all about the Springfield location.
All right, Sarah, thanks so much for joining us. You're a great mom. You're a wonderful mom. Thank you.